I know I don't have a lot of time to spend on it because I know we don't have a lot of these to go around, but let me show this to you. This is, and I think there is a necklace that matches this too. Oh goody, there is. We'll show you the whole set so you can see. This is two very rare gemstones. They are both one source gemstones, first of all, so they both have their own little place on earth where they're found, and that's it. One is in the Dominican Republic. The stone is known as Larimar. The other stone, the stone we've partnered Larimar with, is Tanzanite. Earlier we talked about Tanzanite and all the wonderful and unique characteristics of that stone. So combined, you have just two stunners that sit side by side in this set. We have a ring and we have the matching pendant. They both are so very pretty, so beautiful, and what, again, what a value at $119.90 for that gorgeous ring. I like the framework. You'll notice that the color of the Tanzanite in the ring is slightly lighter. It's not the dark Tanzanite. It's more of the periwinkle. I would say it's softer. And I do think they really complement each other beautifully. That softer, you know, it's interesting. Tanzanite comes in a range of color from periwinkle to a dark violety blue, and then it hits all the different color ranges in between. So I think what's cool about this is that those two pastels really do look super nice together. Look at on Sue's finger, you can see. This is 471448. It's $119.90. It's on 5 flexible payments of $23.98 a month on your credit card. And this is something you are just gonna have so much fun with because it will pair back to other blues you might have. It'll mix and match with other Tanzanite you have. It becomes a really good bridge piece to add for mixing and matching. Now, I have to tell you what's happening here. We have Michelle, our customer from Tampa, visiting, and in a minute, we are gonna have some fun with Michelle. So I wanna tell everybody what's happening.